This field is in tremendous condition, and the slow curve is outside, especially when you compare it to previous years. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the left-hander hitting Sean Paul with an open stance, and he swings and fouls it off to the left. And out of play, it's 1-2. Temperature in the upper 70s. Perfect day. This will be the last good weather day of the week. Anticipating showers tomorrow and Friday. They play on Friday in Aurora. The offering. Swung on in line towards right field for a base hit and a hanging curveball. The throw to first is going to be late and off the glove of Cage as McBride tried to make the play from right field. And that'll send up Colton Thompson. Thompson hitting from the right side. Mustangs at double play depth. They did not play well defensively. They had 3 errors from their shortstop Shurtleff. And the pitch. Slow curve is lined into center field for a base hit. Advancing to second is Paul. And just like that, Vista Peak's got a threat here in the top of the first inning. Carlito just throwing some hanging curveballs at this point. Here's Iomar Rodriguez. Batting from the right side with an open stance. And the pitch. Swung on line off the glove of Urquieta into center field for a base hit. And the ball goes underneath the glove of Daniels. And the runners, nope, one runner did advance. And now the runner, the base runner, going back to first. And he's going to be tagged out. That's the hitter, Rodriguez. No, safe. Apparently the tag was missed over there. Nonetheless, we will no error because Thompson at second was starting to advance to third. He went back, and then it looked like Rodriguez was going to be out. And the tag was missed, so it's 1-0 Vista Peak on the RBI single from Iomar Rodriguez. That'll bring up the fourth place hitter, Arturo Valenzuela. 3 hits to begin the game for the Bison. The pitch. Swung on and grounded foul on the changeup. Off the end of the bat on the right side, it's 0-1. Yeah, right now Carlito's not fooling anybody at all. Giannis sitting at no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. The breaking ball's upstairs. And the count is at 1-1. Yeah, he's going to have to fool these guys with something better than what he's throwing. The pitch in the dirt with a changeup. Ball got away, but not far enough from Schneider for the runners to advance. Two balls and 1 strike. First and second, nobody out. 1-0 Vista Peak in the top of the first inning. And the cleanup hitter up there. You can follow us on Twitter at B106 or our B106 Facebook page. It's 2-1. And the offering swung on line to center field. Daniels comes on as to field it on a hop. And now rounding third is Thompson headed for the plate. The throw is going to be cut off by Cage. It's an RBI single for Valenzuela. And Vista Peak leads 2-0. Well, we thought maybe this is going to be a quick game for Fort Morgan. This team's only won 4 games. And the Mustangs right now are getting a lesson. Here's Colby Kraft. 4 base hits to begin the game. And Carlito's going to have to do something. Because like I said, he's got nothing on these pitches. They're just hanging out over the plate. Mustangs have never lost in Colorado 7 league play. Still early to think that's going to happen here against a 4-19. The pitch. And the fastball's a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Urquieta looks in. And the offering. Fastball is up and in. And that levels the count at 1-1. 2-0 Vista Peak, and the Mustangs, still have not registered an out in the inning. Step ball by Carlito. Nothing doing. 1 ball, 1 strike. At second is Rodriguez. Valenzuela at first. The pitch to Kraft. Swung on and driven down the left field line. Long run to his right. Keller is going to make the running catch. The runners will not tag. And there's 1 down. But even that ball was hit pretty well. As the runners retreat to their bags. And here is Brett Paul. Paul, another right-handed hitter for Vista Peak. He's catching today. The stretch by Carlito. Big lead at second. The pitch, the runner goes. Nope, there's a bluff. And the trail runner, Valenzuela, is going to be tagged out over there at first, I believe, and he is. That's terrible communication. And I don't know if that was Rodriguez's fault, but he's going to be thrown out by Schneider, tagged out by Cage. And it's no balls and 1 strike. That'll go as a straight pickoff. 2-3. Rodriguez still in scoring position, the stretch. And the offering. And the curveball is grounded to third. A big hop off of Cosman's chest. He's going to pick it up, and he will not have a play. And I'm going to call that a straight-up base hit. That took a terrible hop on Cosman. Now, usually those are plays that I score as errors, but that took a brutal hop right to the upper chest of Austin Cosman. That'll bring up the opposing pitcher, Daniel Sanchez. Rodriguez off of third. Paul at first. 2-0 Vista Peak in the top of the first inning. 2-step lead for Paul. Carlito comes home. Swing and a miss on a changeup on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week and the best prime rib on Friday and Saturdays. That's Atwood Steakhouse. No balls, 1 strike. 2 on, 2 out, 2 in. And Urquieta delivers. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Count is sitting at no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, one thing is to throw off speed, but you can't throw it up in the zone. The hitters for Vista Peak saw all of Urquieta's pitches very easily. Paul might be taking off from first in the 0-2, and he does. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. And there's Urquieta's strikeout of the opposing pitcher, Daniel Sanchez. However, 2 runs on 5 hits. No errors and 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. Vista Peak 2, and Fort Morgan is coming to bat. Let's take a 1-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Let's get to the Mustang starting lineup. Is brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. For the Mustangs, they go with that same starting lineup. Batting first is the center fielder Kyle Daniels. The second hitter is the shortstop Trevor Shurtleff. Batting third, the third baseman Austin Cosman. The catcher Joey Schneider is the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth, the pitcher Carlito Urquieta. Kenny Keller, the left fielder, hits 6th. Trey McBride in right hits 7th. First baseman Nate Cage bats 8th, and Adrian Marquez, the designated hitter, will bat 9th. Vista Peak defensively has Arturo Valenzuela at first, Casey Emberry at second, Colton Thompson's at third, Sean Paul in between him at short, Lonnie Hill in left, Iomar Rodriguez in center, Colby Kraft in right, Brett Paul behind the plate, and Daniel Sanchez is on the hill. 1-3 with a 5.76 ERA. Pitches up and away to Kyle Daniels. Hitting .524. He's got 22 hits on the year. The offering. Swung on and lifted on the left side of the infield. The shortstop, Paul, to his right, makes the catch. Daniels did not swing at a very good pitch. There's one down. One down for Shirtliff. Batting .378 on the year. He's driven in 10. That's third on the team in RBIs. And the offering. Swung on, lined up the middle for a base hit. And Shirtliff is on with one out. Here comes Austin Cosman. 5:32. Ripping the baseball up. 13 RBIs to lead the team in both categories. Stretch by Sanchez, and the pitch. Over, but low with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Short lead at first. 1-0 runner goes, and it's inside. No throw to be made. Oh, they're going to call it a strike. Delayed call. Shirtliff with a steal. One ball, one strike, one out, one on. 2-0 Vista Peak in the bottom of the first inning. The right-hander Sanchez delivers. Swung on and grounded to short. Paul to his right has got it deep in the hole. Sets, throws, offline. And was the tag made? No. That'll be an error, and it was offline anyway. Shirtliff had to hold. Cosman reaches on the air. It's first and second with one out here for Joey Schneider. A .304 hitter. He's driven in 9. Mustangs threatening here in the bottom of the first inning. Trailing 2-0. The stretch. And the offering in the dirt, and it gets away by just about a few inches. And the count is at 1-0. To Joey Schneider, the Mustang catcher here this afternoon, as he's been all season. 1-0. Swung on and grounded left side, headed for left field. That's a base hit. Shirtliff will be sent home. He will score. Cosman to second. RBI single for Schneider. And it's now a 2-1 game. Hector Luna will be the courtesy runner. Just a simple ground ball is all it took. Here's Carlito Urquiera. Batting from the right side is Carlito. Swing. Nope, he got out of the way of that one. 1 ball, no strikes. Urquiera in .357. That ball was riding, and I thought he might have pulled the trigger a little bit. 1-0. And that changeup is a strike on the inside corner. He backed off with that one. But that did find the strike zone. 1-1. Cosman at second, Luna at first, lined, and that is foul. Down the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 1 down to Carlito Urquiera. Mustangs trying to come back from that loss on Monday to Erie. The 1-2 to Carlito. Here it is. Swung on and chopped slowly to short. Paul's going to charge. Fields throws on the run, and that's going to be in time. And Urquiera is out. Runners do advance to second and third. That'll send up Kenny Keller. Keller on the season, batting .349. He's driven at 11. That's second on the team in RBIs. And he's got runners at second and third. The stretch by Sanchez, the pitch. Up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. The changeup is on the outside corner. That levels the count at 1-1. When it comes to livestock feed, you can rely on Colorado Soy to help deal with the nutritional needs of your livestock. Visit coloradosoy.com. 1-1. Swung on and popped up into shallow center field. The shortstop, Paul, is out. Here comes the center fielder, Rodriguez. He makes the catch. And the Mustangs are done in the bottom of the first inning. However, Fort Morgan does score a run, and the Mustangs do it on 2 base hits in air and 2 men left. To the second we go in Fort Morgan. It's Fort Morgan trailing Vista Peak 2-1 on B106 and B106.com. 8-9-1, Casey Emberry, Lonnie Hill, and Sean Paul. For Vista Peak, they lead Fort Morgan 2-1 in Fort Morgan as we go to the top half of the second inning. The pitch from Urquieta. Fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. To Casey Emberry. The pitch. Low. 2-0. Emberry hitting 125. 3-0. Another one off the strike zone. Against a 125 high school hitter. And the 3-0 pitch. Not even close, up and in. Walked him on 4 pitches. That'll send up Lonnie Hill. Well, Hill hitting 208. Urquieta gets a sign. Short lead at first. And the offering squaring to bunt, lays it down, foul down the third base side. It is 0-1. Vista Peak scored their 2 runs in the top of the first inning on 5 hits. No balls and 1 strike to Lonnie Hill. Settles into the box with a short lead at first by Emberry. The offering squaring to bunt, lays it down beautifully down the third base side. Schneider picks it up, fires to first in time. Sacrifice goes 2-3. Emberry to second. That'll bring up the number 1 hitter in the lineup, Sean Paul, who had a base hit to begin the game. Left-handed hitter for Vista Peak. The stretch by Urquieta. And the pitch. Swung on, line towards center field. Daniels has to play it on a hop. And are they going to send the runner? No way. Throw was a little bit high, but Schneider caught it all the way at the plate. 6 hits now for Vista Peak. Yeah, Carlito has got nothing on that ball. It's just hanging up there. Here's Colton Thompson. He's got to throw something more effective than that. Thompson had a base hit in his first at bat, as he will now settle into the box. Urquieta looking back to stretch. And the offering runner goes to second. Swung on line and off the shortstop's glove into center field for a base hit. A run will score as Emberry crosses home plate. It's an RBI single for Thompson. Vista Peak in the second inning leads 3-1. 7 hits for Vista Peak. Here's Rodriguez, who drove in a run. And right now, Carlito's getting hit hard. The offering and the curveball is a beauty. On the inner half, it's 0-1. Looking in, no balls and 1 strike. The pitch, swing and a miss. on the off-speed pitch. Count now rested 0-2. Let's see if Carlito throws a waste pitch. 0-2 in the dirt. Again going off speed. To Rodriguez, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. Runners take their leads. And the pitch outside with a fastball. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Urquieta looks back. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded fair down the third baseline. Kenny Keller's going to race to it. And the runners advance 1 base at a time. Paul to third, Thompson to second. And Rodriguez is 2 for 2. And here comes Arturo Valenzuela. He had an RBI single. And Carlito doesn't have much more to go in this game if he keeps getting hit like this. 1 out. Mustangs a double play depth and the pitch. And the curveball is on the outside corner for a strike. That's his best located pitch. Out of the windup and the offering in the dirt with a curve. 1-1. Your one-stop center for home improvement projects, Ackley Building Center. Flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. 1402 Mill Street in Brush. The pitch. Fastball. A strike at the knees on the outside corner. 1-2. And the offering. And it looked like he went, yep. On a ball down in the zone, Valenzuela strikes out. On that half swing, there's 2 down for Colby Kraft. Kraft popped to left in the first inning. Big strikeout by Carlito, his second of the game. The pitch. And the curveball hit him in the left leg. Forcing in a run. Paul scores at Sean Paul, 4-1, Vista Peak. Wow. And he tried to get out of the way of that one. Nothing doing there. So the inning continues. And that is a strike on the outer half. No balls and 1 strike for Brett Paul. Vista Peak has scored 2 runs each of the first 2 innings. Swing! And a missing a fastball up and in. It is no balls and 2 strikes. Carlito gets a sign. Swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. On the slow curve. Count remains at 0-2. Here to Colby Kraft. Or check that too. Brett Paul. Kraft was the one hit by a pitch. The pitch. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The runners take their leads. Across the way, the pitch. Swung on line foul off to the right. With Thompson at third, Rodriguez at second, Kraft at first. It's a 4-1 lead for the Vista Peak Bison. And Carlito delivers. Swung on and hit off of Carlito's glove slowly towards second. That's going to be a base hit. Pollard gave it a chase. Nothing he could do if Carlito doesn't touch that ball. More than likely it's an out. Instead of run scores. And it's 5-1. 3 runs across. And here's Daniel Sanchez. He struck out swinging. The pitch. Low. 1 ball and no strikes. Mustangs being surprised on their home field right now. Swung swung on and grounded right side. Cage to his right, and the pitcher got a late break, and out got Lito over there. He's able to take the throw, and the hitter is retired. However, it's another productive inning for Vista Peak. They scored 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and the bases were left loaded. An inning and a half complete. Vista Peak 5, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. It's 5-1 in favor of Vista Peak as we head to the bottom of the second inning in Fort Morgan. And the Mustangs will have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Trey McBride, Nate Cage, and Adrian Marquez against Daniel Sanchez. McBride is batting .385. He's got the only 2 homers of the season for Fort Morgan. And he's only a freshman as he steps into the batter's box. The pitch. Fastball, a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering is inside. And the count is level at 1-1. Pitch is swung on and foul back. One ball and 2 strikes to Trey McBride. Vista Peak scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second. Mustangs need a clean inning at some point. The pitch swung on and driven in the air deep into left field. That one's going to head all the way towards the fence on a couple of hops. McBride is around first. He's into second with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the second. Lonnie Hill was playing way too shallow. That'll send up Nate Cage. Cage hitting .312. He's driven in 7. He will look to get the Mustangs on the board. The stretch. Or back on the board. The pitch. Swung on line towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Rodriguez charges, and it's off his right leg. McBride will score. Cage stays at first. It's Vista Peak 5, Fort Morgan 2 in the bottom half of the second inning. So here come the Mustangs. That'll send up the number 9 hitter, Adrian Marquez. Pitch squaring to bunt and takes it outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Keep in mind this team was beaten badly by a Skyview, 10-0 and 19-0. And yet they've got the lead on Fort Morgan. The pitch. That's a strike with a changeup on the inside corner. Count is at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 in, nobody out. Pitch to Marquez, squaring to bunt, and he takes a fastball upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Already 7 runs scored in the game. Only 9 outs have been registered. The stretch. And the pitch to Adrian Marquez. And he takes it in the dirt. On the changeup, 3-1. Vista Peak only has 11 players they sent out here today. Cage off of first, a conservative lead. And the 3-1. Upstairs with a changeup. Tying runs at the plate. And the hard-hitting Kyle Daniels, who popped up to begin the bottom of the first inning. We know what he's capable of. Changing games around very quickly. Cage off of second. Marquez at first. The stretch. Sanchez delivers, squaring to bunt, and it's down the third baseline. If it stays fair, they're never going to throw him out, and they won't. As Thompson came in, but that's an easy bunt single. And the bases are loaded for Trevor Shirtliff. And just like that, Fort Morgan can claim the lead. Yeah, no panic here considering that the Mustangs are 10-3 and Vista Peak's 4-9 going in. Wind and offering. In the dirt, skips away. Here comes Cage to the plate, and he will score sliding. Other runners advance in a wild pitch. 5-3 is now the score. And it's 1-0. Shirtliff settles back in. The stretch by Sanchez, the pitch. Inside on the changeup. Two balls and no strikes. Gotta love this one here. Swing and a miss. Liked it and missed it. Still ahead in the count. At 2-1. Out of the stretch with runners at second and third. And the offering. Fastball is upstairs. 3-1 to Shirtliff. And the big hard-hitting Austin Cosman is on deck. Marquez at third. Daniels at second. 3-1. Swung on and lifted into left center field. Long run for Rodriguez. Backpedals. Makes the catch. And tagging from third is Marquez. Daniels holds up at second. It's a sac fly for Shirtliff. The first down to the bottom of the second inning. And the Vista Peak lead is down to 1. It's 5-4. And here comes Austin Cosman to the plate. Cosman reached on an error. His first time up. He can tie the game with a base hit in the outfield. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss on the changeup. It's 0-1. Tried to hit that to the next county. No balls and one strike. Sanchez, the right-hander, delivers. The changeup rides inside. And that levels the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the senior third baseman. The offering on the outside corner. Took something off of that. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The stretch. Pitch to Cosman. Swing and a miss. Sanchez running off the mound. There's only 2 down. Cosman strikes out. That'll send up Joey Schneider. He had an RBI single. He can tie the game with a base hit in the outfield. Schneider will now step in for Fort Morgan. 5-4 in favor of Vista Peak. They had a 4-run lead going into the inning. Daniels off of second, and the offering. And the curveball is outside. Sanchez has already thrown 36 pitches. 1 ball and no strikes. First Fort Morgan run today was brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank committed to their community and keeping banking simple. At 321 Ensign, when you need banking advice, stop by and see one of their loan officers. Fastballs up and in. 2-0 to Schneider. Temperature already dropping a little bit, but not much. It's a glorious afternoon. 2-0 to the senior catcher, Joey Schneider. Sanchez delivers. Swung on, tapped foul up the third base side towards the Fort Morgan dugout. Count moves to 2-1. Well, both teams have scored in each of their times at the plate. Schneider awaits. 2-1 pitch. And the changeup is a strike on the inside corner. Bell tie, it's 2-2. Daniels off of second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3 across. The pitch. Swung on, grounded left side. Paul, the shortstop. Fields throws to first. And Schneider is out. And the Mustangs are retired in the bottom half of the second inning. But Fort Morgan does score 3 runs. They do it on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. 2 complete. It's Vista Peak 5, Fort Morgan 4. This is Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Well, that does it for Carlito Urquieta. He's out. He's at short now, taken out after struggling through 2 innings, allowing 5 runs. 5-4 in favor of Vista Peak heading to the third. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Bison. Carlito had a couple of strikeouts, but also allowed 5 runs on 9 hits. And Emberry began the second with a walk and later scored. Let's see Shirtleff's numbers. The pitch. Change up a strike. 0-1, but a 2.39 ERA. Wind and offering. Swung on, grounded up the middle for a base hit into center field. The leadoff man's been on every time for the Bison. Here's the number 9 hitter, Lonnie Hill. He had a sacrifice bunt in the second. Fort Morgan doing everything in their power to try to minimize the innings, as is Vista Peak, but neither pitching staff is having any success. The pitch, swung on in line and caught by the shortstop Urquieta. Throw to first and not in time. Back in diving is Emberry. There's 1 down. One down for Sean Paul, who is 2 for 2. But now facing a different pitcher. Let's see if that makes a difference as far as the Mustangs are concerned. The stretch, short lead at first, and the offering, squaring to bunt the breaking balls outside. One ball and no strikes. Vista Peak leads 5-4 in the top of the third inning in Fort Morgan. 1-0. Swung on and fouled straight back. Moves the count to 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. A 1-run lead here in the third. Throw back to first, back in diving is Emberry. Mustangs at double play depth. Schneider lays down the sign. Stretched by Shirtleff, and the pitch. Squaring to bunt, takes a changeup down and away. It is 2-1. A slow-moving affair so far. With all these runs being scored, the offering. Foul down the first base side on the slow curve. It is 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. The left-handed hitting Sean Paul awaits the pitch from Shirtleff. Here it is. Swung on and grounded to second. Pollard to his left has got it. To second for 1. To first. That's late. I don't know why Paul didn't run through the bag at first. That's idiotic base running. Could have hurt himself. Fielder's choice goes 4-6. And with 2 down, it'll be Colton Thompson at the plate. Thompson is 2 for 2 with an RBI. The stretch by Shirtleff. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back. A ball up in the zone. It is 0-1. In their last Colorado 7 league game, it was here at home. Mustangs never led until the end of the game against Skyview, winning 9-8 and 12. Breaking ball skips through Schneider to the screen. On the wild pitch, Sean Paul to second. The board says 0-2, should be 1-1. One ball, one strike. With two down. The stretch. And the offering. Upstairs. 2-1. On Colton Thompson. Live in your world, learn in ours at Northeastern. Go to njc.edu for information on classes available to you. In the dirt with a changeup. Shirtliff falls behind 3-1. And on deck is Iomad Rodriguez. 3 balls and 1 strike. The wind is certainly picking up. Shirtliff stretches. Shirtliff looks back. Shirtliff comes home. Curveball, a strike on half. 3-2. Neither team has been held scoreless in any of their frames so far. Schneider lays down the sign. And the 3-2 pitch. Over but low. Thompson walks. Here's Rodriguez, who's 2 for 2 with an RBI. Oh, it's time for the Mustangs to make pitches here. Shirtliff looks in. And the pitch to Rodriguez. Curveball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Temperatures really dropping. The jackets are starting to be put on by some of the spectators. Worn, I should say. 1-0. And the offering. Swung on, line to left field for a base hit. Kenny Keller will feed it on a hop. And the runner's going to be held at third. Good throw towards the plate, cut off by Cosman. Rodriguez is now 3 for 3 in the game. And the bases are loaded for Arturo Valenzuela. Valenzuela singled and struck out. He is 1 for 2. Third at bat in as many innings. Wind and pitch. Swung on, line foul off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. And the Vista Peak Bison, man, they've got 11 hits in a game. And we're only through the second into the third. No balls, 1 strike, the pitch. Swing and a miss of the bender down and in. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down bases. Loaded, the pitch. Curveball is up and in. 1-2. The runners take their leads from all bases. And the 1-2 pitch. That is just outside. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sean Paul at third, Colton Thompson at second, Rodriguez at first. Shirtliff with a 2-2. Swing and a miss. On a ball in the dirt, Valenzuela strikes out. And Vista Peak does not score in the frame. They get 2 hits, no errors. And 3 men left. Vista Peak has stranded 8 already through 3. It's Vista Peak 5, Fort Morgan 4 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs trail 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the third inning in Fort Morgan. And the opening hitter will be Carlito Urquieta, who grounded out in his first at bat, followed by Kenny Keller and Trey McBride. 5, 6, and 7 for the Mustangs against right-hander Daniel Sanchez. The wind and pitch, swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. He pulled the string. No balls and 1 strike. started this game about 6 minutes early. Swung on, lined into left field for a base hit. The Mustangs pick up their 6th hit of the game. And Urquieta's 1 for 2. That'll bring up Kenny Keller, who popped out in his first at bat. Let's see if Keller tries to move him over with a bunt. He's got the speed. He can lay it down. 2-step lead. The pitch. Swing and a miss. A weak swing on the changeup. A ball that was diving in the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Urquieta off for first. About a 1.5 lead. Throw back to first and offline, but Carlito back in diving. No balls, 1 strike, 6-5. Or 5-4 Vista Peak, I should say. Mustangs can make it 6-5 with a 2-run homer, but the wind is blowing in now. And Keller not a home run threat as far as we know. We haven't seen him hit one yet. The pitch, squaring to bunt, and he lays it out in front of the plate. That's a good one. Barehanded by the pitcher, throw to first in time. Sacrifice goes 1-3 for Kenny Keller. And with Urquieta at second, here's Trey McBride, who doubled in his first at bat and later scored. He can certainly tie the game with a base hit in the outfield. Sanchez gets the sign from Paul. Looks back at the pitch. Swung on and drilled foul down the left side. Oh and 1 to Trey McBride. He got all that baseball, but out in front. Runner takes his lead at second. And the pitch up and in with a changeup. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Conversation there between the catcher Brett Paul and the pitcher Daniel Sanchez. It breaks up. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 5-4 Vista Peak over Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Sanchez comes home. Swung on, hit deep to left field. Lonnie Hill is way back towards the track. It takes a couple of hops. It's off the bottom of the fence. Rounding third and scoring is Urquieta. Trey McBride has a second double in as many bats. This drives in a run, and the Mustangs and Bison are tied at 5 in the 3rd. And that thing was tattooed. Again. Here's Nate Cage. He had an RBI single, and he swings and pops it up into shallow right center field. Second baseman Embury goes out, backpedals, makes the catch. And there's 2 down for Marquez, who walked, and he scored. So it's a brand new ball game in Fort Morgan, where these teams tied at 5. The Mustangs have scored in every inning. The pitch swung on, tap foul up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. But even at that, the Mustangs against a 4-9 team are not playing well. Allowing 11 hits. They should be beating this team a lot better, and they're not even winning this game. The pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup. But they've scored the last 4 runs of the game, so they're certainly on their way back. 0-2. With Kyle Daniels waiting to hit next. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The right-hander Sanchez comes home. Swing and tap to the screen. Barely got a piece of the baseball. Remains at 0-2. to Adrian Marquez. Laying down the sign is Paul. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded towards the shortstop in the hole. Paul will make the play. At least he'll field it, but no throw to first as Sean Paul went to his right. It's an infield hit for Marquez. McBride to third. Here is Kyle Daniels. Daniels has popped out and had a bunt single. Daniels is 1 for 2. And a base hit would give the Mustangs their first lead of the game. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and driven down to the right field line in the air, and it's caught. Caught out there, and a nice stab by Colby Kraft. And the Mustangs score only a run in the bottom of the third inning. Fort Morgan does it on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Let's head to the fourth. Fort Morgan 5, Vista Peak 5 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs and Vista Peak Bison are tied at 5 going into the fourth in Fort Morgan. The sun has disappeared. The temperature has dropped. Colby Kraft, Brett Paul, and Daniel Sanchez to begin the fourth for Vista Peak. Trevor Shurtleff is now the pitcher of record for the Mustangs. Wind and pitch. Fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Kraft is 0 for 1. Change up down and in. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. One ball, one strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a curveball in the dirt. 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. And the offering. And did he go? And the answer is no. On the curveball in the dirt, 2-2. It's not been a sharp game defensively, but not too sloppy either. Just both teams are hitting the ball. Haven't had a clean inning yet. 2-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3 with a curveball in the inner half, and there's one down. Shurtleff strikes out Kraft. Third strikeout by Fort Morgan pitching. That'll send up Brett Paul. 2 for 2. Swung on and lifted to left. Kenny Keller going back in the gap. Still going back, still going back, still going, and it's over his head. He's going to chase it down, but into second with a one-out double is Paul. And Vista Peak has picked up 12 hits in the game. And Daniel Sanchez, the pitcher, who was 0 for 2, will now hit. And Brett Paul is 3 for 3. The stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a curveball that gets away towards the screen. Paul to third. And it's 0-1. Sanchez can give Vista Peak the lead. Maybe a ground ball might be able to get it done. No balls, one strike, but the infield's playing in. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a curveball in the dirt. No balls and 2 strikes. We played exactly an hour. And the 0-2 upstairs with a curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez awaits out of the windup as Shurtleff the pitch. That is a called strike 3 fastball in the outside corner. It froze Sanchez, and there's 2 down. Casey Emberry's walked and singled. 1 for 1 in the game. Shurtleff ready. Wind and pitch. Curveball skips away, but not far enough for the runner to score. 1 ball and no strikes. 5 strikeouts by Mustang pitching, 3 by Shurtleff. Embury awaits. Swung on tap foul up the third base side. Count moves to 1-1. With 2 down here in the 4th inning. Schneider lays down the sign. And the 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Schneider blocks it beautifully. Looked like a changeup, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike to Casey Embury. The offering in the dirt again. And that one skips away, but again, not far enough. Yeah, Shurtleff has to stop short-arming these pitches. It's giving Schneider an adventure back there. 3 balls and 1 strike. This is the number 8 hitter. Mustangs have struggled here against Embury in this game. 3-1. Swung on line. Base hit center field. Embury with the RBI as Paul scores. 6-5. Vista Peak in the 4th. And when you fall behind, that's what happens. There's Lonnie Hill. A sac bunt that he lined out. Hitting from the right side. Stretched by Shurtleff. And the pitch in the dirt. Man, he's throwing a lot of bad pitches this inning. When your catcher's got to do that much work. And the count is sitting at 1-0. Schneider will have a conversation with his pitcher. He just needs a rest. I mean, he's really put him to work here. 1 ball and no strikes. As Vista Peak has reclaimed the advantage. The stretch by Shurtleff, throw to first, back in diving is Embury. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on tap slowly on the ground is short. Urquieta steps in the bag for the force. And that will do it in this inning for Vista Peak. But they score a run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. 3.5 complete. In Fort Morgan, Vista Peak 6, Fort Morgan 5. This is B106 and B106.com. Well, the Mustangs trail by a score of 6-5 going to the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch is a ball. As is the second to Shurtleff from the right-hander Daniel Sanchez. And the 2-0 swung on and fouled at the plate. A single and a sac fly for Shurtleff. So he is 1 for 1. Line and pitch. Squaring to bunt, fouls it off to the left. No balls and 2 strikes. Make it 2-2, excuse me. 2-2 to Shurtleff. 2, 3, and 4 in this inning. Pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. Paul charges, fields, sets, throws, and in time. Boy, that looked late. But he was called out. It looked like Shurtleff beat it out, but he was called out, and there's 1 down. Wow. Yeah, that clearly looked like he beat it out. In fact, there shouldn't have been much of a debate, but 1 down for Cosman in the dirt. Cosman is 0 for 2, reached in an air and struck out swinging. Well, the occasional bad call will happen. And the offering. Changeup is low. 2 balls and no strikes. I mean, it was definitely a close play, but it looked like he beat it. And Josh Langford even had to turn around, didn't want to argue that. Swung on, grounded, backhanded beautifully at third by Thompson. Sets, throws, and that's wide of the target. Cosman is safe. That's a base hit on a spectacular play by Thompson, but could not make the throw. Mustangs have the tying run at first for Joey Schneider, who singled and grounded out. A single drove in a run. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Vista Peak leads by a 6-5 score. The stretch. The offering in the dirt, backhanded by Paul. 1 ball and no strikes. Sanchez has thrown 62 pitches. And the 1-0 offering. Swung on and lifted to center field. Rodriguez is back, still going back towards the fence. Goodbye! It's a 2-run homer for Joey Schneider. And the Mustangs have their first lead of the game. It's Fort Morgan 7, Vista Peak 6 in the bottom of the 4th inning. As Joey gave it a long ride over straightaway center. 3rd home run hit by a Mustang this year. McBride has 2 of them. Here's Urquieta. Grounded out and singled. Refreshing to see a long ball. Carlito waits until his teammates get into the dugout. Conversation breaks up at the hill. So the Mustangs will take the field in the top half of the 5th inning with the lead for the first time in the game. And here comes the wind, the pitch. And the curveball is up and away. That's a swirling wind blowing left to right. In fact, the cap came off the pitcher, Sanchez. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the weather's changing drastically. The offering. Up and in, 2-0. You get the 5 innings, that's an official game. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted to left. Hill is going back. Now to his right. Makes the catch. And there's 2 down. Started right. Went left. Instead of left to right. And Kenny Keller has popped out and reached on a sac bunt. Temperatures dropped at least 10 degrees, if not more, since first pitch. Wind and offering. Swung on in line to left field. In comes Hill, and he makes the sliding. No, he dropped the ball. He slid, but he dropped the ball, called a base hit. Had it there, but could not secure it. So Keller gets the base hit. On the line drive, Trey McBride has doubled twice. One of them drove in a run. McBride awaits the pitch. Here it is from Sanchez. Fastball, a strike. No balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs have scored in every inning. And the offering. Fouled back. Took something off it. It's 0-2. To Trey McBride, the freshman. Was in the 9th spot, now in the 7 hole. He'll keep moving up if he keeps hitting the ball like this. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and tapped foul. Behind the plate. Remains at 0-2. Keller off of first. McBride awaits. Runner goes, and the ball went behind McBride. Throw to second is 1 hopped. It's a stolen base for Keller. who did not get a good jump but went on a very good pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mustangs have a 2-run homer in this inning from Joey Schneider. Brett Paul lays down the sign. 1-2. Daniel Sanchez, the right-hander, comes home. And did that clip him? No, it went off the glove of the catcher Paul behind McBride on the wild pitch, advancing to third is Keller. 2-2. Right now for McBride, that ball looks like a beach ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the offering swung on line foul down the third base side. Man, McBride's had some great swings in this game. It stays at 2-2. Keller off of third. Sanchez out of the stretch with a man at third and 2 down. The stretch at the belt to pitch. Swung on tap, foul to the screen. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat on a 2-2 pitch coming to Trey McBride. Pitch number 75. About to be thrown by Daniel Sanchez. The stretch. And the 2-2. Popped up into foul territory down the right side. A long run. And the right fielder makes a play inside the line. As the ball was caught over there by Colby Kraft. And the Mustangs are done in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 2 runs. They get a 2-run homer from Joey Schneider. They had 3 hits in the inning. No errors and 1 left. Let's head to the 5th. Fort Morgan 7, Vista Peak 6 on B106 and B106.com. Top of the order for Vista Peak as they trail 7-6 going into the 5th inning. Sean Paul is 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a fielder's choice. Bats against the right-hander Shirtliff. And the offering. Slow curve is over, but low. Paul Thompson and Rodriguez here in the 5th for the Bison. It's been a tight game all the way. The offering. Curveball is up and away. Shirtliff has done just enough. He's not been super sharp. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch on the inside corner for a strike with a fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. To Sean Paul with an open stance. The pitch swung on, grounded right side. The first baseman Cage will sidearm to the pitcher covering Shirtliff, and there's 1 down. Fundamental baseball by the Mustangs. That'll send up Colton Thompson. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. He has driven in a run. We've not had a 1-2-3 inning yet by either side. In fact, both teams have scored in every inning except I believe it was the 3rd. Vista Peak was held scoreless. The pitch swung on, popped up down the right side in foul territory. Long run for Cage. Can't get to the ball. No balls and a strike. Shirtliff is getting more comfortable out there. 25 strikes and 18 balls through 2 1/3 innings. The sophomore right-hander kicks and fires. Swung on tap foul up the third base side. 0-2. Mustangs were down 5-1 after an inning and a half. Wind and pitch. Curveball is in the dirt. B&J Plumbing can handle all your plumbing needs from clogged drains to a major construction project. They're at 522-3828. And stop, shop, and save on all your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. Brush Grocery Carts, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Curveball is hit on the ground on the right side. Nice stab by the pitcher. Shirtliff underhands to first for the second out of the inning. Excellent play on the slow tapper. 2 down for Iomad Rodriguez. 3 for 3 with an RBI. And Shirtliff getting on a mini roll here. With an open stance. Wind and pitch. Swung on and popped up into foul territory. Cage on the right side towards the fence. Backs up, makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Shirtliff. 4.5 complete. It is Fort Morgan 7, Vista Peak 6 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is Fort Morgan 7, Vista Peak 6. 8, 9, and 1 against the right-hander Daniel Sanchez. Nate Cage is 1 for 2, singled and popped out. Hitting with that close stance from the right side. There's a sweeping wind across the infield, and that changeup is up and in. It's already an official game. The Mustangs up 7-6. We're not going to get any rain anytime soon, but temperatures dropping upstairs. They have a huge rally. They can end it in 5, but they'd have to score 9 runs. And they have tallied at least a run in every inning. 2-0 to Cage, and the pitch over for a strike on the changeup at the knees. It's 2-1. That's a nasty wind right now, blowing across the infield. At least you can see it more in the infield because of the clay. 2-1 into dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike to Nate Cage. And the pitch over for a strike at the knees. 3-2 to the first baseman. Sanchez comes home, and it's upstairs and a changeup, and Cage has walked. Marquez has walked and singled, as he will now bat. Yeah, when the wind makes a sound, you know it's bad. That howling sound. Sanchez with only 1 strikeout. Now walked a couple. He'll have a courtesy runner at first. And wonder who that is. That's his Holbeck. It's a number 6 out there. Pitch to Marquez, squaring to bunt, and he waved at it. It was way inside. No balls and 1 strike. No balls and 1 strike to Marquez. Mustangs lead by a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. 7-6 at home over Vista Peak. Sanchez comes home, squaring to bunt. It's in the dirt, scooped out beautifully. Count levels at 1-1. It's not been pretty for the Mustangs lately after beating Skyview by a run and losing to Erie. Squaring to bunt, fastball's high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 to Marquez. Daniels on deck. Adrian back into the batter's box. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Couldn't catch up to that one. It's 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Stretched by Sanchez, the pitch. Swung on and driven deep into left center field. Rodriguez is way back towards the track, and it's gone! A 2-run homer for Adrian Marquez. The second 2-run homer of the game by a Mustang. This one comes in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Fort Morgan now leads Vista Peak 9-6. Oh, you can hear the crowd really get fired up for that one. That was drilled by Adrian Marquez. Kyle Daniels steps in. He's 1 for 3 in the game. Second 2-run homer by a Mustang in as many innings. Let's see if we have a pitching change. And there's still some discussion out on the hill. Still not sure. Looks like they might keep Sanchez in the game. Man. Yep, he'll stay in there. Pitching to Kyle Daniels. Popped out a bunt single, then line to right. 6 outs to go in this game. Now the Fort Morgan's got a 3-run lead, and the changeup is up and away. Oh, strike. That's a late call on a pitch that was questionable. That home run brought to you by Valley View Villa. Look to the team at Aspen Rehabilitation. Inside Valley View Villa for your sports rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. At 815 Fremont, call them 867-8261. Valley View Villa, foul to the left on a changeup. It's 0-2. Wind and pitch. Swung on and popped up into shallow left center field. That wind is going to take it and drop. It turned the shortstop Paul around, and it dropped for a base hit that was wind aided. Daniels gets a gift, and he's 2 for 4. There's Trevor Shirtliff. Man, that thing was headed towards shallow left and dropped in shallow left center. That ball had a life of its own. Shirtliff is singled, a sacrifice flying at ground out squares to bunt, pops it foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. Both teams have 13 hits in the game. Mustangs have left 6 on base. Vista Peak has left 9. Stretch by Sanchez. The offering. Swung on line toward center field. Rodriguez comes in. Now leaps and makes the catch. Almost overran the ball. 1 out. That'll send up Austin Cosman. Reached in an air, struck out swinging, and then singled. 1 for 3 in the game. I mean, wouldn't this be appropriate? If he hits a home run, fouled off the end of the bat. Hasn't hit one this year. Has got tremendous power. There's been 2 2-run homers in this game. He's up with a man on. No balls and 1 strike to the senior third baseman. Get something on the inner half, and the left fielder, Lonnie Hill, is playing like Cosman's a punch and Judy hitter. He could easily hit it over his head. The pitch swung on line towards left field. That's a base hit, headed for the gap all the way to the fence. This is going to score a run. Around third as Daniels will score easily. Cosman headed to third, and he's going to be in there standing with an RBI triple. The Mustangs now lead 10-6 with 3 across in the 5th inning. And for Cosman, that's his 14th RBI of the season. We'll have a pitching change. A 2-minute break. Fort Morgan 10, Vista Peak 6 on B106 and B106.com. 10-6. Fort Morgan bottom of the 5th inning over Vista Peak. Iomar Rodriguez is now the new pitcher. Looks like we had a new center fielder, too. That might be Isaiah Young. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs to Joey Schneider. He is 2 for 3 with a 2-run homer. And the offering. Fastball outside corner for a strike. Count is at 1-1. Fort Morgan goes down 5-1. They now lead by 4. Swung on and fouled back. Count moves to 1-2. To Joey Schneider with a man on third, and Austin Cosman just delivered an RBI triple. Line by Rodriguez, the pitch. Swung on, lined, and on 1 hop to the shortstop. A run will score. No throw at first because the shortstop, Paul, fell to his knees. Schneider's picked up his 4th RBI of the game. And the Mustangs now lead 11-6. Carlito is 1 for 3 with a single. Hector Luna will run at first. Here's Carlito. Stretched by Rodriguez. And the pitch is up and in with a fastball. One ball and no strikes. Mustangs now with their biggest lead, throw to first, and back in diving is Luna. That was close. Got to watch out over there. He was almost picked off. Good move by Rodriguez. The stretch. Urquieta waits the pitch. Here it is. Fastball is up and in. 2-0. Fort Morgan still needs 5 more runs in the inning to make it a 5-inning game. Got one down. 2 balls and no strikes. Short lead for Luna. The stretch. The offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball tailing away. 2-1. 11 runs on 15 hits for Morgan. 6 runs on 13 hits for the Bison. Vista Peak has committed the game's only error. The offering runner going fastball high. The throw to second is up the shortstop side. The tag is applied and he's out. Luna got a bad jump on that when he was thrown out, as the tag was applied by Paul. 2 down. Out of the windup, it's a 3-1 count. And Urquieta takes a pitch inside and he walks. Makes you wonder why Luna took off. I mean, that's coach's instruction, but that'll happen. And here's Kenny Keller. Popped out a sac bunt and he singled. 1 for 2 in the game. As he now bats for Fort Morgan. Stretch and pitch. Fastball tails inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Keller awaits the pitch. Low and away with a fastball. That moves the count to 2-0 to Keller. Keller came into the game hitting .349. Short lead at first. 2-0. Swing and a miss on a changeup. It's 2-1 to Double K. McBride is on deck. He's been red hot. Couple of doubles in this game. Throw back to first and out by a Miles Urquieta. He completely misread that, and he was caught by a mile, picked off. However, the Mustangs do some damage once again here in this 5th inning as they score 4 times on 4 hits, no errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's go to the 6th. Fort Morgan 11, Vista Peak 6 on B106 and B106.com. Well, the Mustangs are 6 outs away. And they lead Vista Peak 11-6. Trevor Shirtliff has really done the job. Swung on and fouled. At the plate to the opening hitter, Arturo Valenzuela. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a couple of strikeouts. And the pitch, swing and a miss and a ball that's breaking into the dirt. Count is at 1-2. Outside with a changeup. One ball and 2 strikes. And the offering. Slow curve called strike 3. Shirley picks up the strikeout. There's 1 down. Excellent pitch there by Valenzuela, or by Shirtliff to retire Valenzuela. That'll bring up Colby Kraft. And the offering in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to him, a curveball. Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner. Shirtliff not messing around, realizing the weather conditions aren't very favorable. Just wants to get out of here. The pitch swung on line, but that's a base hit into the right center field. with one out. Colby Kraft is on first. Here is Brett Paul, who's at 2 singles and a double. Obviously, he's been very good. See, the Mustangs can turn a couple here. And maybe get out of this inning. And that pitch is a strike. Put some steam on that one. On the outer half, it's 0-1. The stretch and the offering. Curveball is tapped down to third base side. It's going to be a tough play. Picked up. There'll be no play, even though Cage went through with a throw, or check that Shirtliff did. And that one is beat out by Paul, who's now 4 for 4. And now, I'm not sure who this is. That could be. I don't know if that's Alex Martinez or we're going to say that's A.J. Weaver hitting here for Vista Peak. Let's see if I can track that one down. The stretch and the offering. Curveball is tapped foul at the plate. No, that's Isaiah Young. That is Isaiah Young. Even though he was not on the original roster. Yep, he was, actually. I just missed him. No balls and a strike. Young now playing center field in the game as well. The stretch. Look back, the pitch. It's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Went with a fastball in the outer half. Oh and 2. The stretch by Shirtliff. 1 out. And the pitch. Curveball is fouled off to the right. Remains at 0 and 2. The Mustangs with an 11-6 lead in the top of the 6th inning. Shirtliff looks in. Shirtliff looks back. Looks in. Looks back. The pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Schneider. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The stretch and the pitch. That is just outside with a fastball. We move to 2 and 2. This could get very interesting if Mustangs are unable to do something here. The pitch. Change up in the dirt. Three and 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Young. The bases could be loaded if Shirtliff can't throw a strike. Now time is called. Well, the baseball game could turn very quickly right now. The wind is blowing fiercely. And that does have an effect. There's no question about it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The stretch. Throw back to first. It's low, and it gets by Cage down the right field line into foul territory. And the runner's not going to be sent home as the throw is back in. That'll be an error on Shirtliff. Mustangs commit their first error. That was on the pickoff. And now this team is threatening. Runners at second and third, and Young up there with a 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Swung on and popped up in the infield. The pitcher, Shirtliff, is going to call everybody off. He backs up, and the ball drops in. Well, that'll be another error on Shirtliff. Very makeable play and couldn't make it, and it was not called off by an infielder. And that is 2 errors on the pitcher. Nobody scores. And the bases are loaded for Casey Embry, who's walked and singled twice. Vista Peak can get right back into the game. Wind and pitch. And the curveball is a strike. That's a beautiful pitch. by Trevor Shurtleff. When the top half of the sixth inning, and now here comes Josh Langford. Yeah, that should have been called off by an infielder. But if you're going to call it as the pitcher, you got to make the play. No balls and one strike. Yeah, usually if it's behind the mound, if it's in front of the mound, the pitcher can make the play, but it was behind the mound. And because of that, it's disaster there for the Mustangs. So the conversation is still going on out on the hill. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, that's Ehrlich Toyota East. Certainly got to shake that off. No balls and one strike. Casey Embry awaits the pitch upstairs. Count levels at 1-1. Wind and offering. Swing and a miss. On a pitch tailing away, it's 1-2. Lonnie Hill is on deck. He's the ninth place hitter. This is the time for Shurtleff to get him out so they don't turn the lineup over. 1-2 offering, and that is just outside. 2-2. That was pitch number 67 for Shurtleff. With the bases loaded and one down in the top of the sixth inning. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. And now the runner's caught off first. And the first base is occupied. I'm not sure what Cage is doing. He's holding on to the ball. He's going to have to go to the plate. And now the tag, and the runner's out at the plate. Yeah, Cage stepped on first base when Schneider made the throw, but there was no need for it since first base was occupied. And that's what Josh Langford is telling his first baseman now. He's got to know the situation. But luckily, the Mustangs come through with a double play, and the inning is over as Vista Peak strands 2, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. It's Fort Morgan 11, Vista Peak 6 on B106 and B106.com. All right, let us head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. In Fort Morgan, the Mustangs are in the lead 11-6 over Vista Peak. A strikeout, then the man at first was caught off. Schneider threw over there to try to nail him, and then the runner at third broke for the plate, and he was tagged out by Schneider off the throw from Cage. Very strange end to that inning. But the Mustangs did not allow a run. And now Fort Morgan will be sending up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Kenny Keller, Trey McBride, and Nate Cage. Keller is 1 for 2. He's popped out a sac bunt and a single as he steps in against Iomar Rodriguez. Righty against righty, the pitch. A strike at the knees with a fastball. It's 0-1. You need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts. Breaking ball's a strike on the outer half. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Keller. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on and popped up into foul territory and out of play on the right side. Remains at 0-2. The Mustangs with a win would move to 9-0 in Colorado 7 league play and 11-3 overall. Here's the wind and offering, and that ball hit him. Came in on a changeup and nailed Keller in the lower back. So he reaches to begin the inning. Remember, Fort Morgan can tally 5 runs. This game would not go to a 7th. So they're either 3 outs away or 5 runs away from ending this thing With right now is a 5-run lead. McBride has doubled twice and popped out. The stretch and the offering, and the curveball is a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1, thigh high to McBride. Keller with a 2-step lead. The stretch by Rodriguez, the pitch. Swing and a miss. With a fastball right at him. Or right by him, I should say, at the knees. 0-2. Temperatures dropped at least 15 to 20 degrees since first pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez comes home. Swung on and popped up towards the pitcher, Rodriguez. He makes the catch to the right of the mound. There's 1 down. And McBride will end this game at 2 for 4. Still increases that batting average, which coming into the game was at 385. Nate Cage is 1 for 2. Singled, popped out, and walked. With 1 on and 1 out. Stretch and pitch, swing and a miss. As a sophomore was late on that one, it's 0-1. Short lead at first for Keller, who's a junior. And the offering. That's a strike. Throw back to first. Keller back in sliding. And it is 0-2. Trevor Shurtleff has done the job on the hill after Carlito Urquieta struggled. Allowed 5 runs through 2 innings. Shurtleff has allowed 1 run in the last 4 innings. 0-2 pitch to Cage in the dirt. Ball 1, strike 2. Credit Vista Peak. They've hung around in this game. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Fort Morgan has scored in every inning, but has not scored yet in the 6th. Pitch from Rodriguez. Runner goes outside. Throw is up the second base side into center field. Keller will stay right there. It's a stolen base. And it's a 2-2. On deck is Marquez. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cage. The stretch by Rodriguez and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a fastball. And there's 2 down. 2 down from Marquez, who's walked, singled, and hit a 2-run homer. That homer extended the Fort Morgan lead to 9-6. And they throw back to second, and it's thrown nearly into shallow center field. A mix-up there. Who was covering, but Embry, the second baseman, chases it down. That was nearly a balk if you didn't get rid of it correctly. Well, you don't need to get rid of it to second. You do to first base. But you got to throw it near the base. That was close enough there. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and grounded towards right field. The second baseman, Embry, cannot get it. It's a base hit. Rounding third is Keller, and he will score. It's an RBI single for Adrian Marquez. He's got 3 RBIs, and Fort Morgan leads Vista Peak 12-6 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nice job by Marquez. Kyle Daniels is 2 for 4. And he will now bat. This will be his 5th plate appearance of the game. Yeah, you never know sometimes who's going to deliver. In this case, it was the number 9 hitter, who hasn't had many at-bats. Swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Marquez to second. Kyle Daniels with his 3rd hit of the game. That'll bring up Trevor Shurtleff. As we mentioned, Shurtleff has done his job on the hill. At the plate, he's 1 for 3 with a sac fly. Singled his first time up. The pitch is over for a strike. A fastball at the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike for the right-hander Iomar Rodriguez to Trevor Shurtleff, a sophomore. And the offering fouled straight back. Mustangs only have, they have 4 senior starters: Pollitt, Cosman, Urquieta, and Schneider. 0-2 to Trevor Shurtleff. Fort Morgan has scored 11 of the game's last 12 runs. And the offering, that is an outside corner fastball for a strike. And the inning is over. But the Mustangs score once again on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. To the 7th we go. Fort Morgan 12, Vista Peak 6 on B106 and B106.com. Well, the Mustangs lead Vista Peak 12-6, headed to the 7th inning in Fort Morgan. And Trevor Shurtleff begins his 5th inning of work. He'll face the 9-1-2 hitters, Lonnie Hill. In fact, I think, he'll be up there along with Sean Paul and Colton Thompson. Hill is 0 for 2 in the game. There have been a total of 32 hits in the game, 17 from Fort Morgan and 15 from Vista Peak. And 3 combined errors, 2 by Fort Morgan in the last inning. And Vista Peak had one earlier in the game. Shurtleff has thrown 68 pitches and has done a tremendous job for the Mustangs. Wind and pitch. Swung on and lifted towards the shortstop. Urquieta behind the bag makes the catch for the opening out. And there's one down for Sean Paul. Shurtleff has 5 strikeouts, has walked only 1, allowed 6 hits. Well, this certainly won't be an easy out. Sean Paul is 2 for 4. And the pitch upstairs, although both of those hits came against Urquieta. He's 0 for 2 against the right-hander Shurtleff. Here's the wind and the 1-0. Curveball is grounded foul up the first base side. 1 ball and 1 strike. To Sean Paul. Schneider lays down the sign. He's been busy back there today. The pitch. Curveball is upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week, and the best prime rib on Friday and Saturdays. Atwood Steakhouse swung on, grounded, foul down the first base side. Count moves to 2-2. And did they call it fair? No, it was called foul. It was called foul. Looked like it started fair, but it went foul. Now let's see what the call is. Initially, it was called foul. And Cage went through with the play and stepped on first. Yeah, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was definitely foul. It started fair, but it went outside the bag. Yeah, because the hitter, Paul, was headed to the dugout with Thompson stepping in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The base is empty, 1 down in the top of the 7th. Fort Morgan leads Vista Peak 12-6. Shurtleff delivers. That is a called strike 3. Fastball outside corner. And there's 2 down as Trevor Shurtleff picks up his 6th strikeout. Paul will end the game 2 for 5. Colton Thompson is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Hitting from the right side. Wind and offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Vista Peak will lose for the 10th time this season. The pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right again. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And he kicks and fires. Curveball is grounded over the mound. Urquieta, the shortstop, to his left. Field, sidearms to first, and safe! Beat it out. Thompson has hit number 16 for Vista Peak. That'll send up Yomar Rodriguez, who is 3 for 4. Shurtleff had 1-1-2-3 inning. That was in the fifth. Throw back to first, back in diving as Thompson. And to be honest with you, I don't even know why you do that. You're up by 6. Let's just go to the plate at this point. Shurtleff delivers in the dirt. Looked like a changeup, 1-0. Yeah, the runner means nothing at this point. 1 ball and no strikes. Big lead at first, the offering. Curveball drops low, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to Iomar Rodriguez, the stretch. And the offering. Curveball is down and in. 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes to the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Shurtleff throws to first again. Just you're way down on the hitter, looking for the cheap out. On deck is Arturo Valenzuela. 3-0 from Shurtleff. And he issues his second walk. It's over but low. So first and second with 2 down for Valenzuela, who has singled and struck out 3 consecutive times. So he's already got the hat trick. Shurtleff looks in. The pitch. Fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. 5 consecutive balls thrown by Shurtleff. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a slow breaking ball. It is 1-1. Yeah, Cosman, the third baseman, is playing in. I'm not sure why. You got the bag right next to you. You can increase your range. The offering outside. Yeah, he's playing on the edge of the grass. If that ball's hit hard down the line, he can't get to it. But if he's behind the bag, not only can he make the play, he can just step on the bag without a throw to get the force. The rest of the infield is playing back, including the first baseman, Cage. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. The breaking ball is down and in. It is 3-1. This is all set up by a 2-out infield single. A walk to Rodriguez. Now a pitch away from walking a guy who struck out 3 times in a row. The offering. And that's a strike. Took something off it on the inside corner. 3-2 to Valenzuela. The stretch. Shurtleff delivers. Inside, gets away up the third base side, but it's a walk anyway, and the bases are loaded for Colby Kraft, who's 1 for 3, who was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Well, they're still a couple of batters away from getting the tying run at the plate. But you got to worry a little bit of your Fort Morgan, considering that this game was over with, and all of a sudden this team has come right back. The pitch is way outside. In fact, I don't even know how Schneider caught that pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. And right now this pitcher is crumbling. But Shurtleff is not allowed to run yet. Let's see if he can get out of it. The offering. Swung on and grounded to short. Urquieta backs up, drops the ball, flips to second for the force out, and that ends the game. Nice job by Shurtleff, as well as Urquieta and Pollitt, and the game is over. As the bases were left loaded in the top half of the 7th inning, and the Mustangs win the game by a score of 12-6. Let's take a 1-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College. The Mustangs win the game over Vista Peak 12-6. 12 runs on 17 hits, 2 errors, 8 left on base for Fort Morgan. For Vista Peak, 6 runs, 16 hits, 1 error, and 14 left on base. The winning pitcher with 5 strong innings in relief was Trevor Shurtleff. The loss went to Daniel Sanchez. Time of the game, 2 hours and 4 minutes. And Carlito Urquieta, the Fort Morgan starter, really struggled over the first 2 innings. 4 hits to begin the game. Omar Rodriguez and Arturo Valenzuela had RBI singles, making it 2-0. And then Joey Schneider with a run-scoring single at the bottom of the first inning made it 2-1. But then Vista Peak got an RBI single from Colton Thompson. Same story as Colby Kraft drove in a run, but he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Brett Paul with a run-scoring single. All of a sudden, it was 5-1 after an inning and a half. But then Nate Cage would score on a wild pitch after he drove in a run, so that made it 5-3 off his RBI. And off that wild pitch, Shirtliff with a sac fly. It was 5-4 going into the bottom of the third inning. Trey McBride, who had 2 doubles in the game, came up with an RBI double, tying the game. But Casey Emberry came back for Vista Peak in the 4th inning with a run-scoring single, making it 6-5. Mustangs took the lead for good on Joey Schneider's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th inning. And then Adrian Marquez, or in the bottom of the 4th, I should say. Marquez had one in the bottom of the 5th, making it 9-6. Austin Cosman had a run-scoring triple as well, making it 10-6. And then Schneider drove in his 4th run of the game with a single in the bottom of the 5th inning. He was the offensive star today as Fort Morgan grabbed an 11-6 lead. Adrian Marquez also part of the offense with 3 RBIs as he had an RBI single as well in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mustangs improve to 9-0 in Colorado 7 League play, 33-0 overall since entering the league, which began with the 2013 season. Mustangs 11-3 on the season. Vista Peak drops to 2-7 in league play, 4-10 on the year. Mustangs are back in action, weather permitting. 4 o'clock first pitch on Friday on B106 and B106.com in Aurora, also against Vista Peak. Outstanding job as always by our sound engineer and producer Braden Godin. I'm John Beltran. The final score from Eddie Underwood American Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan 12, Vista Peak 6. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com.